Okay, we're on set. Here we go. The Moves News. And the Moves News, the Moves News, the Moves News. Here I go. I'm going to share my views. But first, let me update you since I'm in the studio right now, part of the living space. I will show you what I've got and test my own ability to cope with a stressful situation where I'm just alone in my room here, but I've got a camera and I'm like publicly putting this kind of stuff out. So yeah, you might think I'm nervous, and lots of people, apparently public speaking is quite nerve-wracking for many people, as is figure skating and sports and performance in general. Public speaking, all of these kind of things are performances. And actually I make these episodes that I share with you kind of like performances. I don't do very much editing. I don't really cut very much out. And I don't know, maybe I should, you know, tighten it up in a few places or something like that, but I like to be very efficient. I don't like to waste time or resources. So I like to get it right the first time, and if there's a few flaws in my delivery or whatnot, I think that the extemporaneousness of the event will offset the little flaws that we have. For example, noise, the fresh air. I love the fresh air, and it's still very comfortable temperature. So yeah, I've got very, very good air coming in right now. There was a helicopter going over recently, and you can hear trucks and different things out there, but that's life, right? And I want to make this kind of like life. You know, I can stand up here on my soapbox and tell you that this is the way you should do this and this is the way you should do that, you know, and I can show you an exercise that's good for this, and then if you turn your hip, it's you know, making the stretch go across the front, and I can show you all of these kinds of things. But I do want to make an effort to impress upon you that this is the sort of thing that is not just watching Gary Beacom and being entertained by or getting some knowledge or ideas. It's about how you're going to implement them in your life, and that's my challenge as well. If I have a good idea, I know that the good idea has no value at all unless I implement it. So anyways, I'll bring you up to speed. I play this thing, I don't practice a lot, I don't rehearse a lot. 5 minutes a day at the max, maybe in two different sections. I just go through this once at a time and then go on and do something else. Cleaning, work, editing, whatever there happens to be. There's always something to do, watering the plants. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't get it right often when I'm just sitting here by myself, but now I've got the camera on and I'm like focused on making sure I do my best not to make a fool of myself or make me look stupid, and you know, get a little maybe credibility, you know, wherever I can. And I got some real credibility yesterday when I was at the tennis courts with Kanna sensei, And I haven't swung a tennis racket in a decade, it seems like. Might be a little less than that, but yeah, she helped me get my tennis back. She helped me find that forehand and improve upon it and understand. One of the things that's helpful is, like, my backhand's not too bad, but the forehand, I was like really spastic on that forehand, like embarrassingly, you know. And I dug deep and tried to figure out how I could dig myself out of this humiliation. But yeah, I figured out eventually, you know, like, and kind of says, look, see, on your backhand, you've got your vision on the ball as it's hitting the racket, whereas on your forehand, you're just like not even really, you know, I don't know, there's some psychological thing to it. My forehand, I know it always takes a long time to warm up, so it's kind of lets me down at the start, makes me look like a good absolute palooka. But another thing that Kana suggested about her method, and she says that all tennis players do this, and I haven't really studied all tennis players. I don't watch very much tennis, but she recommends going down as part of the initiation into your swing. And that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense, so I get it. And it seemed to work and help, and implementing that wasn't too difficult. It does help give you power, so then you can focus just on trying to hit that ball in the center of the racket. But I've always said in skating that it's going into jumps, that it's not such a good idea to use this instinctive bounce method. If somebody tells you to jump, you first go down and then you go up again. And actually, in the case of tennis, you're really not trying to go up, but getting yourself moving, like, this is a more powerful position. Lower position is powerful. It's also a very stable position, and you can accelerate with you can, you know, if you've got the strength to sustain this low athletic position and move around in this position, you got more power and you can get yourself darting around better. So, but yeah, the thing is, the more we move on that slippery surface, when we're figure skating, when we're skating, the more motion we do, especially quick motion, it just perturbs our balance. If you think about it, like, any motion has to be accompanied by a corresponding motion in the other direction, so that you maintain equilibrium at all times as much as possible, as close as you can dream about. Yeah, so stability. Stability and power. So I don't recommend the too much down and up, going and bouncing, going up in jumps, which is not to say you can't do that and still make it work. It just adds an extra challenge. And anytime we implement some method or just do something even like naturally without even thinking about a method, there are pluses and minuses to the way we do things. And so we have to make a lot of judgments and choices when we're building our technique. For example, just as a minimalist, maybe we don't want to jump higher than necessary to achieve whatever rotations we're after. Even though it's just grander, maybe it's a little old-fashioned, but it's grander to have a massive jump and try for bigness, you know. jumping higher does give you more air time, so there's that advantage as well. It's beautiful, it's air time. But the disadvantage is, of course, if your balance isn't well refined, and you have a little balance fluctuation, either you try to push yourself a little forward or you blade slip slightly out from underneath you or skid one way or another, some balance fluctuation just as you're taking off, and you start toppling then just after taking off, you continue toppling during that longer period of time when you jump higher. So that would be a disadvantage to jumping higher. Yeah, so we want to know the pluses and minuses of various different technique. Now I wonder, Kanna sensei, if you know, the method and the stability and the beauty and the sort of the robotic action that's consistent. I wonder if how that should now possibly be modified so that you make yourself less predictable, because you want to predict what your opponent's doing and you don't want your opponent to predict what you're doing, right? I mean, I don't have to be a pro tennis player to kind of surmise that that's an advantage, is to, you know, throw your opponent off by being unpredictable. It looks like the ball is going to go that way because that's the way you're swinging, but then maybe you have some wrist action at the last minute and the ball shoots off in a different direction, or you put some spin. I know tennis players play around with this kind of stuff a little bit, but we always want to be moving to higher heights and on our paths, all of us. And sometimes somebody can come from another sport and give good advice. I think maybe I could give good advice to Kanna about tennis, just observing from my experience in other sports, because within a sport it's kind of an echo chamber and we tend to copy each other, and that discourages sort of open thought and experimentation and new ideas a little bit. So I think it's really nice cross-pollination, hanging out with people who engage in other sports, and discussing and understanding the similarities of all sports, like the use of good breathing method, for example. I think that applies in all sports. Having good balance, I think that applies in all sports. Having smoothness of motion, I think that applies in all sports. Using your eyes well, I think that applies in all sports. So, you know, after Kanna suggested, Gary, do your forehand like your backhand, and then now I gauged the ball and I saw it, and I focused more in on what I'm doing here rather than where it's going to go or something else, and it really helped the swing. So, and also I was too wristy, so thanks, Kanna. Arigatou gozaimasu, Kanna sensei. I was too wristy, so my stroke came. I simplified, got rid of the wrist, and then I connected with the ball again. So yeah, that was fun. It's fun doing playing different sports. We can learn from different sports and activities. That's been my way of doing things personally. I've delved into many different sports and learned from them all and developed myself from all of them, and kind of recommend it in a way, even though you have to be specialized as well to be really competitive. Yeah, it's nice to do other sports and develop a more well-rounded body by doing other sports as well, and it's more enriching life, not just doing one thing all the time and getting into a routine. So there is that. But yeah, so that was really nice, going over to the tennis court and hitting some balls, and I'll probably do it again now. Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm going to go skating. I'd like to skate as well as possible this afternoon. And so I'm just got my maintenance tools out. Like I say, I have in my living space, I have these maintenance tools, and I use them every day. You know, maybe just I'll get up from my seat for whatever excuse I can find, and just come and do something with one of these tools, just to loosen my muscles up, maybe, or get rid of some tension. This is also a little bit of a ab workout if I take it up there, supporting myself, go a little bit over to the side, looking for where are the ouchies. That's a little bit of an ouchie where I hit that tree when I was skiing in a blizzard and hit an ice patch and subsequently a tree in that location. It's a bit of an ouchie over there. Yeah, that was trauma. That was maybe the biggest trauma of my life. I recovered okay. And I think maybe even now I have a little bit more lung capacity because I pushed this rib out, separated the rib from the cartilage in that ski accident where I hit the tree. I was skiing by myself on Christmas Day, I remember. Yeah, that was early in the day, driving blizzard. And I'm normally a pretty good skier and normally pretty safe. Yeah, I ski fast, but I've skied all my life. So, yeah, I could see the trees through the blizzard and where the run was, but I really couldn't see. I could feel kind of what the bumpiness and grade of it. It was early in the day. It might have even been groomed. But anyways, there was all of a sudden steep and icy patch, and so I lost it and went down, and I think he might even remembered moving towards the tree, but I don't think I anticipated the effects of an impact, because I hadn't had a serious impact. Yeah, I banged my head into things and this and that. I maybe could have mitigated the damage a little bit by figuring out the position and how to absorb the impact better, you know, but that's anyways, yeah, you can never be too careful. But yeah, you got to keep your wits about you, and yeah, sometimes we get into accidents if we move, if we do things. And so you got to avoid this accident situations as much as possible, but also if you do have an accident, you know how to protect yourself or mitigate the damages too. Quite important. Bye-bye from the Moves News. And oh yeah, the thumbnails that I make for the Moves News. I just take some pictures throughout the week of the posting, and then I choose kind of a picture that I like. So those pictures are kind of news in themselves. Sometimes you can tell the season of them. Like I could have taken I think Tsutsuji season would have been a nice one. I think I missed it, but in other cases it's just like interesting. There was a nice sunset viewing the Tokyo Sky Tree I took a picture of. I think I might use that for the thumbnail this week. But look at the thumbnail. I mean, I put a little bit of effort in, and then I take the time to sort of make a work of art out of it. But look at it and appreciate it. But more importantly, or at least as importantly maybe, if you see and recognize the thumbnail, then you'll know whether you've seen that episode or not, whether that presentation or not. So that's a way of identifying them, the Moves News. because it's a little difficult to put a title. I ramble around, I just discuss different things, and it is kind of a news thing. I talk about what I did during the week and what I learned from it and what I can share that will help you or motivate you, viewers. So yeah, I don't know if I want to drag it on much longer, but I did put my videos into categories. I had them put into categories, and I welcome feedback on that. Categories are difficult for me because I don't really think so much in categories, and it's difficult to choose to watch a video sometimes and choose which category it goes into. You should, if you get something out of any of these videos, you should watch as many as you can. There are a few hundred of them. If you've just joined or discovered this channel, you do have some catching up to do. But and yeah, I use the pronoun I and me. Maybe it sounds conceited or arrogant, but it's actually the opposite, because I'm just telling you the way I believe and the way I think and what I do, and this I, but I recognize that that's me. So you do you, and maybe I'll shed some insight or some inspiration your way or some love your way that will help you, assist you on your path as well. But that's the thing. So yeah, I just share up to date sort of what's important to me through the week, and hopefully it's not just sharing information. Hopefully it will help you to bring exercise and fitness and vitality and health into your life. Bye for now.